Hi, I'm recording. Welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about the astrology for the week of March 30th through April 5th. Let's start talking about the very first aspect, the very first astrological transit. That is most importantly, most significantly, Neptune enters Aries on March 30th. So, Neptune is one of the outer planets in astrology. It's associated with collective enemies, collective oneness. And it could be that feeling of merging with one, merging with life in general. Illusions is also something very, very huge with this, is getting caught up in illusions, getting caught up in delusions, fantasies. Things are confusing, things are not clear. That's sort of the energy of Neptune. It sort of puts a fog over things. There is a lot of confusion when it comes to Neptunian energy because we're confused. Things are not clear. When Neptune's direct, we can imagine something more easily. When Neptune's retrograde, we see it for what it is, real, logical, in reality, without the fantasy, without the idealistic quality of our minds and imaginations. And Neptune is also dreams. So how we dream, what kind of dreams we dream, is also something represented by Neptune. It's also related to our dreams at this time. So, this is all about transforming the way we relate to inspiration and action. When Neptune in Aries is here to light a fire under us, to actually pursue what we have in mind to pursue and not be armchair astronauts. Say you want to have a spiritual practice of meditating and pull oracle cards, but you're saying it, you're thinking it without embodying that. And so now is the time where Neptune in Aries is asking you to directly act upon what your intentions are and manifest your dreams into reality. Make something real, act upon it, take action, initiate it. So it gives us inspiration to act. And it also gives us a sense of we are doing things because because we feel the desire, we feel the urge in our bodies to do these things that we desire to do, to go where we desire to go on purpose, not by accident, not vaguely, but on purpose. Aries in astrology is the visionary and the builder. So Aries puts the vision, it puts the spark under us, it puts the energy into us. And then it builds up and then it actually manifests what it wants to manifest. Not the best at finishing that project, but certainly to get started to really, really feel that adrenaline, that momentum of actually acting upon your desires and going after what you want. And so Neptune also represents higher consciousness. It is a very, very spiritual planet that represents merging with a higher consciousness, merging with our higher self, merging with God, merging with the divine, merging with cosmic consciousness. That's a very Neptunian in nature. So at the time in the 1800s, the 19th century, when Neptune was discovered, there was, all things about spirituality. Seances, all those kind of things like that came about when Neptune was discovered. Neptune is also compassion. What just a compassionate sense of loving every human being for their soul for who they really are on a soul level, not by their egos. Neptune dissolves ego. It's like the mirror that's vanishing, that's fading out. And Neptune is also empathy, feeling into that person's experience, empathizing with what that person's going through, really, really feeling what they're experiencing. And so Neptune is also selfless service. Spiritual service is related to Neptune. And so Neptune represents your spiritual path, your spiritual journey. And I am on a spiritual path right now. You're probably on a spiritual path if you're watching this video. In some way you are on a spiritual path, a spiritual sort of destiny. And my own spiritual truth is meditation and or cards. That is for me personally what those are two really, really huge values in my spiritual sort of dictionary of life. Neptune may inspire you to be more artistic. Neptune relates to the arts, that where you're not just using your mind and your intellect, but you're channeling the art. You are opening your third eye to the art. You're taking the art from a higher place of higher spiritual creativity that you're taking and you're infusing that, you're manifesting that and creating that in your reality. That's what you're doing when it comes to being artistic with whatever you define as artistic and creative. Another thing that Neptune rules is film and photography. So in Aries, it could be films on men and masculinity that could be coming out during this era from 2025 to 2039, when Neptune is in Aries, that whole period, there could be films about a lot of fighting, a lot of leadership, the masculine ideal, very, very Aries things, initiatoriness, uh, courage. There could be, a lot of things coming out. We're really, really looking at the illusions of self, where we're redefining ourselves, we're knowing ourselves, we're getting past any self illusion, self deceit when Neptune is in the sign of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. It relates to me, I. It begins a 165-year cycle on the 30th of March when Neptune moves into Aries. And Neptune is going to move back into Pisces October 22nd. It's going to stay there until January of next year when it moves into Aries full time. And so we may feel more passionate with Neptune Aries. Our passions are amplified. Neptune sort of dissolves whatever it touches. So we may be passionless or possibly blocked in our passions. We may be very unclear what our passions and our needs and wants are because Neptune, again, puts the fog on whatever sign that it moves through, puts the confusion, puts the disclarity, puts the illusion, puts the deceit on wherever it goes. And so Neptune Aries amplifies our masculine quality of strength, or, our sense of strength very, very strongly with this. This is also presenting us with the courage to take bold action towards what we desire, taking action towards those things very, very clearly. So what do we want? What kind of actions do we want to take to pursue our desires? So we may have the courage to do that at this time. In terms of on the collective scale, on the collective level, we could see more aggression, when it comes to people in power, leadership. And so historically, when Neptune was in Aries and when it entered 1861, that is when the Civil War began in America. So we could see more of a war playing out. Maybe it's a political war, maybe it's a religious war. Maybe there'll be more people fighting and raising their voices up to about Donald Trump getting elected as president in America. And so for the people that voted for Kamala Harris, they are going to get very, very angry, very vocal, and fight up against that. And so fighting against their president that they voted for because it's apparently not what it appeared when people voted for Donald Trump, and with all the really, really negative things that he has done, and sort of the things that he says, the things that he does, that is not actually making America a better place in the end. So people are waking up to that, and with Neptune and Aries, it could again light a fire under people to fight against what is right, what is true, fight for justice, fight for equality, fight for everyone to be considered. Maybe more people will be fighting for the underdog with Neptune Aries. Who knows? So we're going to be seeing aggression and leadership differently. We're going to be looking at that for the next 14 years. Um, and so we need to also understand our intentions. Do what lights us up. Intend upon something to then manifest it. And do what we're passionate about. Do what we're individually what we want to do that lights us up. This is a time to stand up for what we believe in, to really, really, be very, very strong in our sort of, um, persona and what we want to present to the world. Really, really standing up for what we believe in at the highest, level of expression, being very strong in that, fighting for what is right. Looking at who are you? And who do others think you are? We're looking at the delusions and confusions of identity with Neptune Aries. Um, and so we may be standing up against the oppressed. We may be fighting for the oppressed people. That could be something going on. Somebody may not be who they say they are. Donald Trump is a great example of that, making all these statements about how he's going to make America great again. And we're going to be going on a very, very dark path in the next 4 years with all the possibly the taxes, possibly a bunch of other things. And so, really, really looking at the truth of who that person is and getting past the illusions of what they say, how they present themselves, to really, really get to their true motives and intentions and what they're really, really about, getting real. Because this is all about authenticity. It's all about um, getting, real to who you truly are. So, what causes do you feel called to champion during this era of Neptune and Aries? So, what are these causes that you feel called to rally up against and fight for? Neptune in Aries is here to bridge inspiration into action and transmits possibilities into reality. Whenever Neptune enters a new sign, it brings change in that sign individually. So Neptune is spirituality and divinity, imagination and surrender is also very, very Neptunian, surrendering to the divine, surrendering to life on life's terms. Neptune is also the invisible world, the invisible forces that orchestrate life. Neptune is all about that there is higher beings, that there is spirit, that there's divine orchestrating life. And so, the unseen is very, we're really, really looking at that. And Aries is all about passion and fire, courage and action. And so we could really, really redefine who we are in the next 14 years from the person that we were Because we're going to be very, very different people when Neptune and Aries leaves in 2039. Where we're taking, sort of make a timeline and, evaluate as you go along with the transit how you how you were one person at the beginning and how you're a very, very different person with how you define yourself in 2039 when Neptune prepares to enter Taurus. So, you know, we're going to be redefining our identities at this time, getting more truly to who we are on a soul level, not the ego. So we're going to sort of dissolve the ego. This Aries is related to ego. Um, and so remember, it's individual, getting in touch with our personal desires. Um, and so we're looking at a self that remembers its direction is sacred, guided, and really, really fulfilling our soul contracts and our soul purpose over the next 14 years. That isn't the only thing that's happening this week. We also have on March 31st, the day after Neptune enters Aries, we have Venus in Pisces conjunct the North Node at 27 degrees of Pisces. So this is when we're beginning to align ourselves with our future path. We're really, really looking into the future. Who do we want to become? What do we want to do? What is our dharma? What is our purpose? We could look at a more spiritual view of relationships. Um, we could really, really evaluate that now. Growing and evolving to a more spiritual path is also a big thing with this. Be with the people that can help you grow, that can help you to evolve to become the person that you were meant to be. Be with those people that challenge you, that teach you things, that help you to grow. So the North Node is our sort of destiny in this life. It's our sort of, could be related to purpose. So it's our dharma, direction that will bring us the greatest contentment and fulfillment. It's not comfortable to go towards it. It's outside of our comfort zone. It's a stretch for a soul. And so Venus will also be exactly opposing the South Node, which represents our past habits and patterns and gifts and talents that we're coming in with that are exaggerated, that are out of balance, and so we need to bring that into balance with the North Node. So it's all about sort of the seesaw, um, you know, balance. I mean, we're going a little bit this way, but then we need to go a little bit that way. So it's that kind of thing. So this could also be about using our gifts to serve our community. Really, really taking our gifts, our talents, and serving our community with those things in that way. We could be looking now at natural diplomacy and themes of compassion at this time. It's important to be kind and generous with other people, however that makes sense for you. You want to explore and expand your artistic expressions. So really looking at that is very important. We're looking at any manipulation and the dark sides of manipulation aimed at personal growth, however. We want to balance giving with receiving. We're not over giving, but we're not, not giving at all. We want to balance these two things out and, do that dance gracefully as gracefully as we can. So this is all about using our gifts to contribute positively to the world around us. That's what this is about. Now, on April 3rd, Mercury is in direct conjunction with the North Node. So now it's Mercury's turn. So Mercury is in Pisces at the same degree as Venus is conjunct the North Node. So Mercury is conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So this could be fulfilling our purpose. Again, But more specifically, this is about communicating in a way that makes us, advance in our soul sort of, level of education in this Earth school, in this lifetime, in the curriculum that we've signed up for in this lifetime. So this could be looking at communications, writing projects, this kind of things like that. Um, Being a spokesperson for something that could be enlightening to society is very, very huge at this time to sort of step into, championing ideas and ideals. We want to also listen to others and our intuition, really, really listening to other people and honoring what they're saying and following our own intuition, not getting caught in our ego, going where our soul says that it's the right place to go, the right place to do at that time. So this is great for using our intellect, really, really utilizing the intellectual prowess that we have within ourselves. We may feel that we have a lot of intelligence and rational logic is sort of heightened at this time. Your mind may be more adaptable and flexible than it might otherwise be, more open to new ideas. So that's positive, especially the ideas that advance us forward. We're more progressive in our thinking. We're more forward thinking, thinking about the future, thinking about where we want to go, what we want to do in our life. So it's very intellectual. This is very intellectual transit. And so we may be expressive and effective. We may be very, very expressive and effective in our communication skills. There may also be a talent for making ideas more accepted and agreed upon by the masses. We just have this ability to make, all kinds of ideas, acceptable, and, make people open their minds to it. And so this could be about fostering variety and uniqueness in our experiences also. Now, on April 4th, we have Mars coming into a beautiful supreme harmonious connection with Saturn. So these are the malefic planets. But when they come together, when Mars and Saturn come together, Mars in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, both water signs, this is a really, really productive time. This is great for getting things checked off your bucket list. Great for getting things done. Great for getting a lot of very, very hard things, very difficult tasks, very strenuous tasks that require a lot of time, a lot of hard work, um, that don't happen overnight. And we can do these tasks and see them through to completion, committing to those tasks. That's the gift of this transit. Um, so that's what it's about. Finding the most efficient way to get things done. That's what this is also about. We could find that we have a lot of patience and self-discipline when it comes to, staying on a certain path and not veering off that path, having our blinders on, focusing in a particular direction, being disciplined in what our goals are and achieving them and not. If we're trying to lose weight, we're not engaging in a lot of high calorie and high sugar foods. Um, really, really pursuing our goals, whatever they may be, with that discipline that we need. So this is about committing to our passions and crystallizing your dreams into reality, taking your dreams and manifesting them in your reality in the in the third dimension of reality that we live in on planet Earth. So partners will find you more dependable and dedicated than they otherwise might be. You have a very, very strong potential of being more dedicated and more dependable at this time, so use it to your advantage. We may find things like muscles and bone structure to be more attractive at this time because those are the body parts that Saturn rules. It also rules teeth, the structures of the body. This is great for engaging with authority figures such as parents, teachers, police, and bosses. This is good for doing work that will have long-term results, that require long-term effort. It's not about the short term or about is this going to be sustainable for the long term? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. And so approaching tasks with care and with precision comes in mighty, mighty hand with this. So really, really being careful, very precise in our deliverance of the alongside-edness of what we're doing in terms of our tasks. This is good for tackling seemingly tedious and overwhelming work. We may navigate challenges with greater ease and resilience, or we may be more resilient at this time. We may surprise ourselves with how resilient we might be. It's very, very important to get grounded. Do what grounds you. Do what centers you, brings you down to earth. Meditation, going for a walk in nature, whatever those kind of things are that helps you to get grounded. These are good things to do at this time. Eating healthy is also very important this time also. So, um, it's very important because Saturn can lend itself to being very critical and demanding to not let that critical and demanding qualities, to not let those qualities overwhelm us and take us to where we're projecting those qualities onto others and we're being very critical and demanding of other people. This is about being compassionate and patient in relationships, really, really holding space for that. It's very important to have your goals, but to break them down into feasible, manageable tasks, um, where you can maintain the motivation and momentum to do that without overwhelming yourself, without biting off more than you can chew at one time. This is also about aligning with your true self, really, really getting honest of who you are. Long-term relationships is also something that is very, very, huge with this. Is we're looking at our relationships and are they sustainable for the long term? Now, Saturn is going to sextile Uranus. So these are two outer planets. So Saturn is in Pisces, Uranus is in Taurus. They're in a beautiful, harmonious sextile, which is a window of opportunity that we intelligently take action upon. So this is in Pisces and Taurus. Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus. And so we may feel more open-minded, more inventive, more innovative to come up with new solutions to solve problems, to, rethink things in a different way, to view things in a different way, to open our mind up to new information, to guidance also. And so this is about significant achievement and recognition, really, really looking at our achievement and our recognition, really, really getting in touch with these things, very, very huge thing. We also want to take risks that could increase our success. Go big, take risks, do those things. Because you never know what you can do unless you take the risks. Take educated risks. That's what we're being invited to do. This is good for getting into things like mysticism, spirituality, astrology, tarot, those kind of things like that is very huge. Working well in a group or team is a very, very strong point of this transit. You have the ability at this time to bring people together for a common goal, for a common purpose, to, achieve something like that. You may find that you have Strong leadership skills, determination, and a very, very strong work ethic at this time. This is about blending the old world with the new world. Saturn represents the old world, past, the traditions of how things, worked out. The history of those things. Uranus is a new world. Who do we want to be? Uranus is related to young people, the trendsetters, the innovators, the mavericks, people that are outside of the box and bring in a new world. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, herald and the new. They're ahead of their time. Um, and so this is about expanding your intellectual horizons. This is about transforming your life from the inside out. The old world versus the new world. That's what this is also be. Security, very Saturnian polities, versus innovation, Uranus. We want to value the journey that we're going on, but also the destination equally. It's not just about the destination, it's also about the journey of who we become when we're going on that journey, of who we're evolving into, of the little nuggets and tringlets and trinkles of who we're sort of moving and evolving into. The final aspect that we have going on this day is that we have Mars sextile Uranus. So Mars is in Cancer, Uranus is in Taurus. Mars is now moving forward in Cancer, and Uranus is moving forward in Taurus. So this is about um, any change started now will happen quickly and smoothly. There may be an increase in a desire for fun and excitement at this time. We may feel more initiative, inspired, and motivated to go for our desires. You want to take advantage of this rather impulsive energy to really, really use it for your advantage and go after what you want and desire. You want to attract people who are somehow different, who might be from another race or another culture or another ethnicity, to really, really engage with people and to be open-minded about their backgrounds, their experiences of where they come from if you find yourself in a situation like that. You want to break away from those relationships that limit your self-expression and freedom. So any relationship that hinder you from being yourself fully and being free, you want to move away from those relationships. This is about trusting your instincts and not being afraid to take a risk. If you're in a mental rut, you want to break away from that and gain things that can make you have a fresh perspective on life. You want to bring forth new and innovative solutions to solve problems. This is about choosing relationships that resonate with who you authentically are, that feel true to you, that feel right for you. You want to balance your need for freedom with your responsibilities, to balance your responsibilities and your obligations to other people with your desire for space, with your desire for your own personal growth and freedom. Very, very important. You want to honor your commitments while also allowing yourself the space to explore and grow. So that's what you're invited to do at this time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great week. Enjoy.